Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this show, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch, and let's jump right into the news. So, if you guys have been following the news, this is happening now. We have two, if you're just listening to this on Spotify, we have two storms that are heading towards Japan. One coming up from the south and one coming from the east. And they're scheduled to make landfall in about 24 hours ish, maybe, depending on which projections you're looking at. And that's a concern because what happens in a situation like this where you have two I think they're both tropical storms. I don't think they're typhoons anymore. I think they've been downgraded to tropical storms. But one of the Japan Times is reporting on this. One of the things that it talks about is that this can be dangerous because a phenomenon that occurs when two storms get close enough together is called the Fujiwara effect. Kind of cool name. And it talks about how like it's once they start interacting with each other, it's kind of difficult to figure out what they're going to do. If they're going to, sometimes they'll like rotate around each other, sometimes they'll add to each other, sometimes they'll like snuff each other out, sometimes they'll actually go in and like become one giant superstorm. So we don't know what's going to happen, and we're just kind of all hanging out waiting for another typhoon to come in our ongoing typhoon season here in Japan. In the other big headline that's happening right now is a member of AKB48, Hanada Aoi, has become the first member to have her contract terminated following her supposed, alleged dating of a fan, even though she shaved her head in to apologize and try to not get fired. Now this kind of if you remember, there's another AKB, they are the same to me. Member who shaved her head. There's another AKB member before, Minami Minegishi, who back in, I don't know, whenever this was, I don't remember when she shaved her head, like a couple years ago, some years ago. Probably gonna shave her head. In 2023, it seems. 2013. And there's like this famous video of her crying with a shaved head, apologizing for, infidelity and things like that. Because in Japan, it's kind of what's really weird. Here, let me put this on the screen. It's kind of weird. This is a famous iconic picture of her from her video. The idols, I think this is the same in Korea as well. The idols are not supposed to have boyfriends. And so part of this is like there's the parasocial relationship between the idols and their fans. And so part of this relationship is continuing the illusion that any one of the fans at any time could, have a relationship with one of these idols, or if not that, then that, the purity of them, because they're also very young and things like that. And so having them have any experiences outside of, just like normal idol stuff is considered kind of problematic by some fans and management. So they have a rule in their contract that they're not allowed to have, lovers or boyfriends or whatever. And so that is an absolute thing. Now, this most recent case is with Mrs. Hanada. There's two sides of the story, okay? So one side is her side of the story, which is kind of, this all got announced a couple days ago when she was supposed to have a live stream. And then suddenly she posted on, I think it was X or something like that she couldn't have a live stream anymore. And then she uploaded a video instead. And then so there basically became this like ongoing back and forth, like talking to like her and the management of AKB. This is all alleged, by the way. None of this has been proven in court. But like an alleged like her talking to her management, things like that, through social media. They're talking at each other kind of situation. So why is this not working? And so one of the things that has been said is that, why is this not? There we go. So she said that she alleged that the management of AKB, again, this is all alleged, had came to her with, you know, look, we figured out that you have like a secret boyfriend, and that, you know, we want you to shave your head and say you're sorry, and then that way we will you'll be able to keep your job. AKB, their management is saying that actually wasn't the case, and that they decided to let her go for other reasons, and that they didn't ask her to shave her head and things like that. So it's an ongoing story. We don't know who's done what yet, but yeah. It says on the 24th, so this is a few days ago, Hanada said, the root of the problem this time was my lack of awareness as an idol, and I think it was inevitable that my contract would be terminated immediately. And then apologized again, saying, I would like to apologize once again. I'm truly sorry. On the other hand, she expressed her disappointment with the response, saying, but I can never forgive being betrayed when I was forced to shave my head as a sign of sincerity, and I was told that they don't remember telling me to shave my head. She said, I will fight this no matter how many years it takes. Finally, thank you to everyone who has offered me kind words of support. Now, hearing all this, you might be thinking like, oh my God, she must have had like this like super serious like underground like relationship with this guy for many years. Turns out that probably, maybe, allegedly, I don't know what the correct way, the correct adverb is here, but probably, I guess, what had happened is that she had maybe no direct contact with this particular fan, but she would like kind of post hints of where she was in public enough that this person could find her. And then she put out a statement saying that she had started playing a game. I can't find the direct quote right now, but she said something to the effect of like it might have been a game with like her fans or whatever. Like, oh my God, you found me in public. Ha ha ha. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. Again, it is a ongoing situation. But what this brings up in Japan is a couple of things. One, in Japan, historically speaking, especially during the bubble times, this became a big business practice, is that if you screw up at work, this is generally a guy samurai thing, right? It's not really intended for women, but like, if you screw up at work, you shave your head, and it's humiliating, but it's also like a way of saying, like, I physically showing you this outward showing that I made a mistake. I know that I did wrong. I'm showing, repentance, and I'm trying to make amends. And that again has long rooted history in Japan and blah, 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 blah. The two most recent big news were these two AKB girls who were either made to shave their head or voluntarily shave their head, whichever you choose to believe. And the sight of a once very beautiful, idol with a very hastily shaved head, like we just saw the picture, is kind of toxic, right? I think that's the general consensus behind this, is that as a fan, if you see this, like you've got to like at some point think, oh, this is not cool, like this, we shouldn't be doing this. I guess I don't know, like it depends on how like people feel about this, but for me, I just feel like maybe we shouldn't be doing this. This doesn't seem like something necessary. So yeah, that's the second biggest news story right now, is we have an AKB, the first AKB member to be fired. Yeah. So after shaving her head. If you have a thought about that, leave us a comment. I'm curious. I think idols are boring. Not into it. Went to one local idol live performance with a friend who really was into idols. He's like, Mitch, I want to show you my world. And I was like, okay. And I went there and just like, all right, this is weird. And can I leave now? Like, it's just weird. It's just a very weird, just weird. Not into it. So if you are, or if you know people who are, leave us a comment. What do you think? Moving on. Nepalese man mistakenly nabbed as police officers unaware of new ID cards. So if you guys don't know, there's been a lot of changes in immigration going on recently. And one of those changes is that the ID for foreign residents is now being combined with your My Number card, and it's a different color now. It's a little pink, and it is just a different card, right? They're trying to update. Japan's trying to modernize a bunch of their identifications and things like that. Okay. So the story says, police officers questioned a man in his 20s on the street in Tokyo's Shibuya ward Thursday morning and asked him to show his identification card. The man took out his residence card, but was arrested on the spot because the police officers believed it was a fake card, according to the police. The Nepalese man, I think this is part of the problem, Nepalese man that was then taken to a police station where another police officer realized that he had possessed a type of residence card issued since June 14th, a new one. The incident came despite the Metropolitan Police Department raising awareness on multiple occasions about the introduction of the new residence card. And the top comment is incompetence on every continent. Guess so. Guess it doesn't matter where you go, there's going to be incompetent police officers. Next story, as we move on, is actually about, it's a little bit about the World Cup. So, the World Cup, every year, the Japanese fans are seen picking up trash, and, you know, it's like this big thing. Let me see if I can find a higher resolution version of this photo. Okay. So every single year, the Japanese fans are famous for going around and picking up all the trash from the seats and, you know, making, you know, the stadium, you know, the same condition in what they found it, you know, leave no trace kind of situation. Then this year, I don't know who made this, but there's been this new campaign. Let me see if I can full screen this. So there's this new quote unquote campaign by someone, and it's out there now, and it is, oh, we are too big now. How do I make you smaller? Ooh, there we go. Okay, so here we go. It says, please do it at home is the name of this campaign. So you can see here from this website. And it's basically like, hey, if all of you guys are all your soccer fans are gonna like spend time picking up trash at the stadium in a foreign country to make you guys yourselves look good. And then there's like this like little animation, this little illustration here. Like, please do it at home while your wife is working hard and you're like sitting on the sofa. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. Now, is it true that Japanese men tend to not help out in daily chores at the house? Well, that was the question that was posed to the internet, and we kind of have an answer to that. So, Tamada Atsuko, who is a professor of the 18th century French Enlightenment who specializes in the status of women in pre-revolutionary France, was not happy about this, and she shot back with a post that contained what appeared to be an AI-generated image extorting Japanese men to do it at home. So this image I just showed you was made by a professor. You can find her on X at Atsuko Tamada. Okay. Anyway, so here we go. We got the data. We got the receipts on this. All right. So when you compare women and men, according to an OECD time use database, which was last updated 2021, Japanese men spend just 47 minutes a day on unpaid work such as childcare and house cleaning, the lowest among the 35 countries in the OECD tracks. Korea comes in next with 49 minutes. Wow, very close. By contrast, Japanese women do 208 minutes of unpaid work a day. That's 4.4 times more than their husbands. So we got the receipts, guys, and it turns out they don't do it at home. So help out with the chores, boys. Do your part. Pitch in. All right, moving on. So we got a weird. Actually, we're gonna come to that last. So here's another poll. This is put out by Professor Jeffrey J. Hall. You can find him on Twitter at MRJEFFU. He's got some very fun posts. He posts very frequently. Really love following him. There's a Pew Research poll that has found that only 25% of Japanese people trust that President Donald Trump will do the right thing in regards to world affairs. In addition, only 11% of Japanese trust Benjamin Netanyahu. Top Reddit comment on this is, those numbers are still too high. But I agree, Japan, you should not be trusting either of those men. Both of them should not be trusted. There's no reason to trust either of those. Sorry. While we're on politics, let's continue on politics. There's a couple of things. Actually, no. While we're here with Jeffrey J. Hall, he's got a. Oh, can I? I don't think I'm logged into X on this, so this might be problematic. We're gonna find out together. So there is this new viral video going around. I posted it to my Instagram, and it is of Takaichi's. There it is. It says Japan Minister for Economic Security Onoda Kimi.
すいません、一問じゃなかったですっけ
So she immediately asked, like, I thought it was just one question per person. She just seems really annoyed this entire time. Like, do you have a limit on your time? She's like, no, but I just heard that, you know, there's like one question per person. And this reporter who's like, I think this is the same reporter that's always getting her. Like, I have a question.
大臣ね、信頼できる AI システムという言葉がこの中に出てきますけれども、これはどういう意味ですか？
信頼できる AI システムという意味です。
お答えになれないということですね。
信頼できる AI システムということです。
So Onoda is just, from every interaction that I've ever seen her with the press, she's just like, I don't know. I have questions. I don't have any answers. I have questions. I wonder if Onoda she's emotionally stable, because every time I ever see her in an interview, she just seems really angry and agitated. And so I think that if she was like a manager in a company, she would be considered an abusive black company. So first of all, I'm just kind of wondering about like her emotional stability. Secondly, the question that was posed by, and this reporter's voice seems familiar to, I haven't seen his face, but I think he's the guy who's always getting her. The question that he's asking is that she made a comment previously about Shinnai dekiru AI system, which is like AI systems that you can trust. He's like, can you define what that means? And she just gets like angrier. You can tell her. I'll edit it into the video. She gets angrier and she just says, "It just means AI systems that we can trust." And he says, "Kotai ni naranai desu ne." It's like, that's not an answer, is it? And then she just like repeats herself and like moves on. And when I see politicians in Japan acting like this, this is a new thing for Japan. Having like hostility towards the press, having just like not having manners in general is just something that I don't really see a lot. And so maybe there's something happened before this clip. Maybe it's taken out of content. I'm not sure. Context. I'm not sure. But for every time that I ever see her in any clip or any media, it just seems like it's the same thing. It's just like agitation, like just disrespect. And it just, for me, I wonder what position, mental, like, is she coming from a solid base? And then, you know, I look at some of the policies that are coming out of her and Takaichi's office, and it just seems like not maybe they're not as stable as we want them to be. There's also other stories that are circulating that this is more hearsay, so I'm just going to mention these as things that are circulating on the internet. I have nothing to show as evidence for this. This is just like, you know, these are things that are popping up, and I think that they deserve a little bit of investigation. One is that some people claim on the internet that Takaichi is a pathological liar. Again, I have no evidence to support that. I can't tell you if she is or not. But there were a lot of different little things that have happened in the news recently that just kind of raise an eyebrow. And you're just like, it's all circumstantial, but it's just like, is this person capable of telling the truth? Is she telling the truth? And it seems like, And then also on top of that, we have a current scandal that's working its way through the media, is that the allegations is that Takaichi's campaign may have leaned on a staffer to create AI-generated campaign videos to be released on X and things like that. That was supportive of her campaign and critical of other campaigns. And we don't have any hard evidence. We have no smoking gun in this right now. But in Japan, election laws are very, very strict, and you can't just like do whatever you want. It's not America where like, you know, money is free speech. It's not like that. Like they have, you know, they can only spend a certain amount of money. They can only do certain things. They can have certain, ads at certain whatever. And so that's working its way through the media. Nothing's really come of it yet. We'll see where it goes. But that's there. At the same time, there's this video that was also circulating around X where Japanese X users tend to be animals. Like they're like 4chan users. They're just like crazed animals. Not all of them, but like a lot of them, especially the ones that are into politics and stuff like that. And so one of the things that's been going around is that there's this clip, there's this viral clip of Takaichi speaking to the former, he just recently stepped down, Prime Minister of the UK. And he's mentioning like, oh, we were supposed to meet the other day, him and Takaichi, they're sitting next to each other. We're supposed to meet the other day, but we didn't get to meet the other day. But it's okay because it was raining the other day and today's a sunny day. And so I'm glad that she brought the sunshine with her, something like that. And everybody starts laughing. And what it appears, okay, this is just face value. I have no idea. Maybe she's completely bilingual. I have no idea. But it appears that she doesn't understand what's happening and she's just looking at the other people around her laughing. And so she's just laughing with them, like pretending to understand. And if you've ever learned a second language or a third language, we've all been there. There have been times, you're sitting there in a situation where it's like, and you're like, what's going on? But the comments on X have been like, which are probably just misogynist comments, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't espouse misogyny at all. I think that leadership, regardless of your gender, it should be completely your judging your leadership ability should be 100% focused on your ability to lead and your results. And so that aside, the comments are like, oh, she should not be representing Japan because obviously she can't speak English and that's just really embarrassing on the world stage and blah, 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 blah. And this is going all over the internet. And all of these things are just kind of happening while we're seeing economic issues. The yen is currently in maybe an unstoppable downward spiral. There is a video on YouTube. I will try to find the title of it as we're talking, but there's a currency death spiral where it's impossible to fix your currency without crazy devaluing your currency. And so this video essay that really goes into all the different things there's actually a few of these out there but one in particular is like, it's just really good. And if I can find it really quick, I'll say it. If not, I'll just put it in the video description later. But it's just there's like a death spiral. And I think that it happens around 100 it usually happens when your bond yields hit a certain amount and then, lending more basically makes it so you can only pay the interest. And then this spirals and spirals and spirals. And right now, you can see like the Bank of Japan intervening over and over and over again to try to like prop up the yen. And it gets it below 160, but then it's right back to 160 now. USD to yen. It's 161.62 yen to the dollar. And with current estimates being that it's probably going to go, here it is. Why the Japanese yen is collapsing and how this affects you. This is from Andre Jik. I don't know. I'll just spell his name. ANDREI space JIKH. A very good video. His thumbnails are very questionable, but his videos are very good. So if you guys if you want to watch that, check it out. And there's also this like ongoing thing where people borrow yen to buy US dollars to then profit. There's like this it's like this money circulation thing that's been going on for decades. And that's kind of like hurting the yen on top of that, and all this other stuff is going on. But anyway, the point is that at this point, it seems that the only way that Japan will get out of debt is if the debt that they currently have right now is worth less than it is right now because they can't pay it back. I think the debt to GDP ratio of Japan, debt to GDP ratio, Japan is the highest in the world, and it is 236% of GDP. Compared to the United States, which is 122, and that's considered unrecoverable at 120. So Japan is almost double that. So we might see a collapse of the yen soon, which if you're listening from abroad, just means that you're going to have a much cheaper vacation here. Instead of being, 60%, it's going to be like half off. Okay, let's get out of politics for a second here, and let's get into murder. Married Tokyo man. Oh no, that's not murder. Ex-wife arrested after bisected body found in freezer at Kobe apartment. Analysis showed that her husband was likely died around 2011. So 15 years knowing where you are is sad, is the first comment on that. That's really sad. Basically, the details on this is that a crew came in to renovate an apartment in Kobe, found a bisected, that is a word, body in a freezer, and they suspect the wife of foul play. And I don't think we have any more details than that at this point. It is still an ongoing situation. Let's keep going with murder. Oh, there was a story, getting back to Takaichi, about the truthiness of her comments. This is also from Jeffrey J. Hall. He says, Prime Minister Takaichi made a post about the government working to address the shortages of paint thinner, claiming, "We're also preparing an energizing label. Let's do our best, Japan." And it turns out that that's been out on labels for years and has nothing to do with the Takaichi administration. Is part of this ongoing, little white lies everywhere that people are talking about. We'll see. More murder. Woman sentenced to 27 years in prison for forcing naked 17-year-old girl to jump off a bridge in Hokkaido. So we reported on this when it happened. There was this situation in Hokkaido where we get these two kids, these two teenagers. Dumb situation. 17-year-old victim. She posts an unflattering picture of the convicted online. Various things ensue, and then at the end of it, they're at a bridge in Hokkaido, and the convicted forces the victim to jump, loses her life, and then she's sentenced recently in court to 27 years in prison. The father, I think it was the father, broke down at the sentencing and said something to the effect of, he's saying, this is from a comment, and I also saw this, but he's saying how he lost his daughter and her whole life potential, but yet in 27 years, or maybe even less, the perpetrator will be out and able to restart her life. Which is really just, I waver back and forth on my feelings about things like this. Like, I think life in prison I think if you take a life it like this deliberately, I think that I don't think that you should be able to come back out. Maybe I'm wrong. Leave a comment. There was recently a viral video from China where there's like these two students and a third student who's up on the ledge on the top of like a very, very tall school building. And the other two girls are bullying her to jump to make it seem like a suicide. And a teacher gets on the rooftop right as she's about to jump and gets her down. The two girls that were like trying to force her to jump, they're trying to cover their face and everything as the teacher's video recording all of this stuff. And it's like, if that teacher wasn't there, that girl would have jumped to her death, and then everybody would have been like, why did she kill herself? And then the two assailants would have gone free for the rest of their lives. That's just kind of scary shit. Let's get to one kind of fun story. There's another murder story, but I don't really want to go to it. Where are you? Fun story. There you are. Okay. Over 1 billion yen is smuggled. Over 1 billion yen in smuggled gold found inside sex dolls by Japanese investigators. So this is reported by many outlets. It says on June 22nd, the Tokyo Metropolitan Police announced that the arrest of a group of 6 men and women on smuggling charges. The group is accused of arranging for the shipment of sex dolls from China to Japan in January of this year. The dolls were sent by air freight, blah, 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 blah. Inside the love dolls were networks of cylinders and containers with gold bullion inside. The total weight of the precious metals was roughly 49 kilograms. That's a lot of fucking gold, with a market value of approximately $7 million US. Not illegal to ship sex dolls or gold into Japan, but they carry vastly different taxes and other fees, as it was mentioned. All right, guys, we're gonna get to like one more story, and I just want to pull this out there because I recently saw this. So you guys know if you're coming to Japan, you know the Odaiba Gundam, which is like the only one that's the Tokyo Gundam. I take anybody who comes to visit Japan was like, let's go to the Gundam. Although I don't care about Gundam. I don't know why people go there. I don't get it. It's in Diver City, Tokyo, in Odaiba. It's kind of annoying to get out there, but whatever. It's a Unicorn Gundam. Wait, did they change? Oh, this is not the same one. This guy. I'm sorry to say, if you haven't visited him already, you've got, I think, a month and a half, maybe 2 months. It says, okay, so the iconic 19.7 meter life-size Unicorn Gundam statue in Odaiba, Tokyo, will be retired and removed at the end of August 2026. So, he's been there for almost a decade. He's been there since 2017. And it's, almost 9-year run coming to an end. Though farewell events and new commemorative decals are scheduled leading up to the final days. So if you guys haven't visited the Unicorn Gundam in Odaiba, Tokyo, go check it out. It was just there in November. Pretty cool. There's nothing really to do in Odaiba anymore. They removed the giant Ferris wheel as well. Anyway, guys, that's been our show today. If you guys liked the show, give us a like, give us a subscribe, leave us a comment if you have anything to say, or any questions or anything. And if you really like us, you can get on our Patreon, which is linked in the video description, and you can support us there. You get perks like patron-only videos, and people, whenever a patron comes to Japan or to Kagoshima where we live, we always go out for drinks and like get to hang out with locals and things like that. So jump on there if you are interested. Everybody, thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.